What's going on, YouTube and cryptocurrency family? My name is Harry and I'm the Crypto Vet. Thank you for tuning back in. Lots of crazy things happening with XRP. So we are going to focus this video on XRP price targets, what to expect. If you like this content, hit the like, hit the subscribe. It helps me out a lot. Also, it promotes crypto in general, so I really appreciate that. If you haven't already, follow me on Twitter at XRP Veterinarian, and links for Twitch and Discord are all down below, and all the other goodies as well. So let's go ahead and get started on CoinMarketCap. And let's go ahead and refresh this bad boy right here. We can see right now Bitcoin's kind of stagnant. We're going to talk about Bitcoin for just a tad because we have to know where Bitcoin's at before we can mess with any of the altcoins, all right? So just looking at this, we can see we've got a little mixed signals. More of the alts are picking up right now. Bitcoin dominance has dropped below 60%, and we are at a very, very crucial point. If we go ahead and see the biggest gainers, we got Theta, a project that I really like. Also the fuel for Theta. XRP is up 13%. Dent, a project I'm completely unfamiliar with, have no idea, but I will look into it because I'm always curious to see what is moving and going up. And then the coins that are dropping right now have already had big gains, or at least to some extent some gains, and are now just consolidating. But let's go ahead and head over to Bitcoin. So if you've been following my videos, I've been talking about Bitcoin and how we have a lot of bearish divergence. So this is the daily. So coming all the way back to roughly September, all the way back to our big dump back when we had the virus. We have been slowly building up since then until we've had our big run, and now we are consolidating into a ascending pennant, which is typically a bearish sign if we break to the downside. But if we break to the upside, it's just a continuation. But something interesting with that is as this RSI is going down and our price is going up, this is usually meaning that we need to come down or consolidate sideways before any type of breakout can occur. And on top of that, it basically makes the movement that does occur happen in a much more volatile or violent action. So instead of seeing a 10 or 15% drop or gain, we would see a 10 to 15 or greater pump or dump. So the reason I'm bringing this up again is because I didn't even notice this until today, but the RSI is actually trending up since March of last year, as well as now we are trending down since we started pumping. So this RSI consolidating here means that when we do break either above this upper resistance or this lower support, the move will be absolutely violent. You know, we could see a 50-60% dump all the way down to say 17,000, 20,000-ish, or we could see a pump up to well above where we would bet before, which would put us way past my price target of 75 to 80,000 K, potentially up to those crazy numbers, especially with the potential for all the inflation that could occur regardless of what the numbers are saying. It's just the fact that we are printing so much money that is devaluing the US dollar. Bitcoin is based off of, some sort of the other currency because everything has to be paired together. So we're going to be keeping an eye on these two values or these two lines here to see where we go. But as of right now, if you look at Bitcoin, we've been holding this support line very well, and we've been respecting this resistance on the top side very well at the same time. We are also trusting the 20 daily exponential moving average as very good support. As we've come down and dropped, we can see these wicks here are all touching or getting very close. And I have this pinkish magenta line here representing the previous all-time high at the candle close to see if we can maintain that, because we could come up, start a new high. We want to confirm something as support, and now that we're in price discovery, we have to make those up as we go, right? So everything that happens, we're using to our advantage and using the data that we have in front of us. If we look at the VPVR, we can see that the volume is way down here at the bottom, not very much traded volume where we are here, but as of right now, we are above where the main key support of volume is for this area in the chart. So let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit. Actually, we'll stay on this chart so we don't have the split. So if we zoom into the 4 hour here, we can see, and now we can see here that we are respecting this, but we're getting below, pushing back up. When we drop below, look at this wick bringing us back. problem is the more we test this lower support, eventually those buyers are going to get burnt out, and we usually have a drop to the downside, which is the same thing when we had a line right here. We got close, this support here, or this resistance here, was stronger than the buying pressure. We had a drop to the downside. And you can see we have this little Bart Simpson pattern, pumped to the up, dumped down, and now we're consolidating right here. The last time we did this, we had a little double bottom, and then we pumped up. Question is this going to do the same thing, and we're going to go to the upside? Currently, we are trading below it, and we can see that here as we keep zooming in. Let me get rid of that VPVR. It kind of gets a little cluttered here. You can see we're getting below and below this support line. Now, every time Bitcoin gets below, it tends to get bought back up. Makes you wonder if there's big money putting in lots of buy orders to get this up, so that way it does go. But as of right now, we've got bullish divergence on the weekly, or bearish divergence on the weekly and the daily. And we also have break of structure here. We're dropping to the downside. The main support that we have is this big trend line for the pennant and then the 20 daily. If this doesn't hold and we drop below about 55,000, I would say we're most likely going to go down to lower numbers. But for the meantime, we're just going to have to see where it goes. I have this on the 4-hour and the 15-minute on the Heikinashi, so that way you can see kind of where the trend is right now. And we are on the downtrend for the 4-hourly, but we are slowly creeping up on the 15-minute. So momentum could change, but we're just going to have to keep an eye on it. But let's talk about XRP. So while all of this is happening, XRP has been consolidating for weeks. And if you watched my video about 4 or 5 days ago, I said that within the next 1 to 2 weeks, we would most likely see a breakout. Now, before we would see any numbers as far as $1 or more, it would probably take 1 to 2 weeks to get to that level. So you can see here when we broke out on the 20th, on the 9th in November, it took 1, 2, 3 weeks before we had a total move of about 220%. Well, we're just starting now. We just confirmed a potential 2 different resistance lines now as support. So the thing is, we could still come all the way back down to 50 cents to confirm that. XRP loves to do these big ass red candles to screw everybody in their trades who are way over leveraged, trying to, make some quick gains. So as of right now, if I switch to the daily, we can see, let me get this VPVR off on. I don't like looking at it unless I have to. Get rid of this. All right, so if we look here, I have everything back to where we had our first pump back in November. And we started to form this big triangle. This is where the SEC news, and we had the sell-off right around Christmas. Everything that's under here I consider to be just data that doesn't need to be taken into consideration for this triangle, because down here, this is where everybody was scared, selling off, new accumulation. But if you see where this trend line comes all the way through, you can see that where it's respected during this time. Again, if we move this line to here, we can see there's respect for the support. Now, one of the things that makes this difficult to know is, are we still in a big pattern? Because if we consolidate this line here, now we've got support that this is the line, this wick and this wick are there, so it was bought back down or sold back down. But now right here, will we close above this to make it back above? So personally, I'd like to see this a 4-hour or a daily close above this 57, 58 cent point to really give me that confidence. Just because anytime we're doing patterns for XRP, it usually just extends the triangle further and further and further and further until the price is just absolutely so tight, and then we get this explosion. And you can see that we had exactly that right here. We had a triangle, and whenever we got above it, whether you want to put it over to here, it ended up just trading sideways for a much, much longer time than expected. And then just one day out of nowhere, it was like, I'm going to go to the moon today. So I don't think we're just going to just shoot up to $1 or plus today. I think a lot of this movement that we're seeing right now is just the fact that everything that was going on with the SEC right now is saying that XRP could be listed on exchanges without penalty. I don't really know how that would still work, because they could the exchanges could still be at penalty later on if they change their mind, right? So this is the same thing that they're doing with Ripple. They're saying now that only Ripple and Ripple employees would be held liable for selling it as a security. Well, they asked for 8 years and those fucking idiots never said anything, and then they sued them, right? So do you think exchanges are just going to go off of some word that was printed out off of a court hearing? It's not the actual judge ruling. It's nothing like that. But I think that news of potentially being able to sell it again has gotten a lot of people trying to buy it. And we're at the end of a consolidation period, almost 2 months, or I think a month and a half. So I'm still not sold on that news yet. It is good news that we have the judge thinking the same way that a lot of XRP holders are, because you guys know me, I love XRP. It is my largest holding of crypto. But I said this is still kind of dragging out. I think when we will see XRP move, regardless of any of that news, is just a little bit longer as things consolidate. So I'm guessing within the next 1 to 2 weeks we'll have it. I'm worried that Bitcoin will actually drop to the downside here, bringing everything with it at the same time. So for right now, I would say if you haven't already, just start accumulating it, because anything under $1 to me is a good price. Again, I'm just a doctor/idiot, and this is not financial advice. But right now, we're waiting to see where everything goes. So if we bring this line back to where we had it, we can see that this is where we had support. This is where we tried to get above it. This is where we fought on both this trend line for this triangle as well as the big triangle. And now on the daily, we did confirm it yesterday, and now we're heading to the upside. So if we zoom in, we can head over here to the 4-hour, and you can see the crazy things, or not the crazy things, you can see how we confirmed, popped up, confirmed, and now we're on our way to the upside. If we run back to here, what did we have? We had a come up, went up, confirmed, and then after that, it went straight up for, how many days is this? 2 straight days. And then, well, I guess almost 2.5 days before coming right back down. But during this time, this is also when Bitcoin went down really fast. So I said, I'm very worried that if we start to pump up and Bitcoin does break to the downside, it's going to come right back down with it. So, because we need Bitcoin to be at a stable price. The nice thing is we do have a good amount of volume coming in right now. So if we have a 4-hour close on XRP that is anywhere in this area right now, I think it would be very, very good to see some movement, some more movement to the upside. The main reason why is if we go ahead and just throw like a little bit of fib retracement on here, and we go from the high that we had before the SEC news to the low we had after the SEC news, you can see that XRP right now is exactly in the golden pocket. I mean, exactly. So if we go ahead and close a 4-hour up here, I can easily see us getting back to retest that 60 big even 63 cents, which was the top of this right here. And then if we can get above the 0.786, we could basically break out of this trend and have a parabolic run just like this. Like I said, I'm still hesitant, so don't bet the farm on this yet. I will be in some trades at lower leverage, probably 7 to 10x to capitalize off this, but I am waiting to see what happens after this candle close. So, and you can see here that if we zoom in on the 15-minute, this was our pump to the upside. This was our initial pump. We broke that trend. Now we're consolidating into a triangle. If I extend this out here, if we break to the downside here, we'll most likely turn this into a bigger triangle. Follow this, and we could come all the way back down to confirm the previous trend at 52 cents. If you're following in the Discord, we had 2 patterns here. This one broke, target was met. If we made a bigger triangle, this one broke and the next target was met. So as of right now, it's very likely that we'll consolidate for at least 4, maybe 8 hours. XRP likes to do its own thing and just pump like crazy, but I definitely think here soon we'll probably have some more movement. So I'll try to get this video out, but that's going to do it for today. Let's hope to see XRP at $1 plus, at least get back up to the 60-70 cent range, but catch you guys in the next one.